Madison Reedy is here for Business News. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
So Fletcher, they've had their own problems in the past, but now they're getting ambitious. They want to buy out Steel and Tube.
Yes, they're making some big offers this time around. So they have made a confidential offer. It was actually earlier last month on September 10. They made this offer confidentially, so we only found out about it today, typically how these things go. And the offer is to buy Steel and Tube, which is its major competitor. So some may not know that Fletcher Building does have its own Fletcher Steel business as well, which is one of its pretty lucrative divisions there. It actually made about $532 million in sales in the financial year 18, so that's the year just ended. So it wants to buy Steel and Tube for a value of $282 million, and that's giving it about $1.70 per share. So that's they may think a pretty decent offer. So we actually spoke to Fletcher's Chief Executive Ross Taylor today and asked him, why are you doing this and what's the process here? He said it's not necessarily a formal takeover offer. It's more of a what they call a scheme of arrangement, which means that they have shareholder support.
We've given them an offer and we're looking to work with them to agree a scheme of arrangement with them and then put that to shareholders for a vote. And you'll note that at the same time as we've been talking to Steel and Tube's board, we've been talking confidentially to some of the major Steel and Tube shareholders, and over 20% of them would like to see this proposal progressed and put to shareholders.
Do you have a time frame for how long it's going to take you to negotiate this? How long is your expectation?
No particular time frame, but we've been talking for 3 weeks, so it doesn't need to go on that much longer from my perspective.
Now, that's the CEO of Fletcher, Ross Taylor, talking to Nana Peltier. What is the response from Steel and Tube to this?
Steel and Tube's Chief Executive, Mark Malpass is his name, gave it a big thumbs down, for lack of a better term. He called the offer opportunistic because Steel and Tube has had some issues of late. It was one of kind of the major victims of the construction woes, being a supplier of steel to some major construction projects. It really felt some issues there. It did have a big kind of profit loss of $20 million compared to an actual profit of $32 million the year before that. So he's called this just an opportunity. While it's almost like taking a hit while they're down.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sounds like it.
Exactly.
I imagine the Commerce Commission will want to have something to say about it.
And that's absolutely something that he noted as well. He said, this will kind of pull the eyes and possibly the scrutiny of the Commerce Commission. Two competitors merging looks like something they may or may not have something to say about it.
Right. Now, it's been a pretty good year for Ports of Auckland in terms of profit. Any indication what they want to spend their millions on or invest in it in?
So the port in downtown Auckland there, which is actually owned by Auckland Council, it made a net profit after tax of $76.8 million. That's up about $16 million on the year earlier, so certainly a good year for them. Their container volumes were up about 2.2%, but they have had some serious issues down there as well. I mean, they had a fire yesterday. That's just, the latest, but they are certainly lacking space, lacking staff. They also had to give in the year to June, they had to give $1.5 million to some casual staff. Again, they were hit by that miscalculation of holiday pay, as a lot of companies have been recently. We've seen that in a lot of results. Also, rising fuel costs hit them too, of about $1 million. But all of that was drowned out by making about $18 million from its joint venture businesses and assets there. So pretty good. They are going to spend it on tech, is what they tell me. So tech, sustainability, the likes of solar powers down there. They have 3 cranes coming from China that cost about $12 million a pop each typically. They haven't actually given us an exact figure on that, but that's the ballpark cost of them. They're coming from China and they're arriving on Friday.
Wow. Sounds exciting.
If you're into ports, it sure is.
Yeah, and solar power and renewables coming from China. Very
Even LED lights on the port, actually.
Wow, very good. Moving with the times. Financial markets, have they been moving?
Yeah, they have. So the NZX Top 50 Index closed down about 1/3% tonight. So that's 33 points down to close at 9,294. Those companies we mentioned about that kind of takeover offer between Fletcher's, Steel and Tube's share price actually gained on that news. So their share price was up 17% to $1.56, which is still below that $1.70 offer from Fletcher's. Fletcher's share price actually went down about 1.5%, 10-cent drop to $6.48. And the NZ dollar's buying at 65.8 US cents, 91.6 Australian and 50.6 British pence.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for the update. Madison Reedy there with the Business News.